morning, everyone. Today is January 21st. Thank you so much for joining in, and Happy New Year again to everyone. It's been quite a horse race, hasn't it, so far in 2016. So I thought we'd start by, once again, just letting you know why we've done these webinars and how to get the best use out of these weekly webinars. And of course, we started them 3+ years ago as a way to have almost a weekly conference call to, as a group, discuss some of the challenges that we've had and get answers to any questions. So that's why we started, but it's been a surprise to me that every week there's quite a bit to discuss. Another reason that we started them really is to have an open forum and have everyone learn from everyone else. So if you do have questions, there are a couple ways to ask them. You can either raise your little hand icon on the control panel to the right of your screen, or you can type in your questions in the question box, and then at the end of the webinar I will answer them, or at least try to answer them, and if I can't, I will get back to you with information and the correct answer. So let's get started. Open enrollment cutoff dates. I don't know if everyone is as excited as I am to get to January 31st this year, but I'm sure I'm not alone. Just wanted to remind everyone, of course, on exchange, the cutoff for 2/1 effective dates has come and gone. That was 1/15. From the 16th to the 31st, they're working on 3/1s, and anything after the 31st is going to be a special election period. For off exchange, Capital Blue Cross, the cutoff is this Monday coming up, the 25th of January by noon. We need it in our office by noon if you'd like us to process it, and that's for a 2/1 effective date. For the 3/1, the cutoff is Sunday the 31st, and we will be working at least part of that day, and the cutoff for submissions for 3/1 is noon on the 31st. Highmark, Aetna, Coventry is also Sunday the 31st by noon for a 3/1 for off exchange. After the 31st, there are special election periods. Of course, they'd have to have a qualifying event, and just put your thinking caps on about how these folks can get qualifying events. The biggest one that I think we're going to see is for the Highmark folks that were terminated as of 12/31. They have 60 days from that termination to make applications. So technically, February 1st through the 29th this year is actually a time that those Highmark folks can still get in for coverage under their qualifying event and special election period. Up until 2/15, they can get a 3/1, and then from 2/16 through 2/29, they would be able to get a 4/1. So I hope that makes sense, and just be mindful of those cutoff dates. Another thing is that it does look like carriers for the qualifying events, including Capital, are going to be asking for proof of that qualifying event. One of the sources of proof would be the termination letter from Highmark that your consumers or your clients have received, and hopefully they've kept those letters that were received back in October, because that's what's going to be required. So if you know that there's a client hanging out there, maybe be a bit proactive and reach out to them, see if they have that letter, and see when they're going to make application. Maybe you'll get them in earlier than they anticipated. Status updates, it's still a Argh because that's how we feel. We're down to about 800 statuses to process, which seems like a huge number, and it is a huge number, but it's much better than it was before. And I thought it was important to share an article that just came out yesterday, and it's from the Charlotte Observer, so it's specific to North Carolina, but I think the message is clear for all of us, and it talks about how thousands of health insurance consumers around the country have started the new year dealing with missing ID cards, billing errors, and other problems tied to an enrollment surge at the end of 15. They go on to say that a lot of the delays were caused by the displacement of a lot of consumers that also had their plans terminated. And they also say that the delays mean that some consumers may have to pay for care up front and wait for their insurance cards. We've experienced many, many of the same issues. I do have to say that the carriers are and have been, up to this point, very willing to help and get these corrections made. But we've had applications that were sent and lost. We've had applications that from the FFM that made application but didn't get any bills till after the 1st, and they were voided. So I mean, it's really been a nightmare, and we are working through each and every one. Before notifying you, we are trying to resolve the issues so that, again, you don't get a nasty gram saying your customer's policy has been terminated. We're trying to get those corrections made before and give you the right status. So again, just try to be patient. We are working through them. We just had a Capital Blue Cross upload of statuses, and that's where we get them. We get them once a week. Other than that, we have to call on each and every one. The last several years, we were able to go onto their portal and get live updates on the status of every application, but we can no longer do that. So we have to rely on the phone method and do 1 or 2 or 3 at a time, and then hang up and call back and wait in line, or we wait for the annual or the weekly report. So you should be getting some status updates, quite a few on Capital, either later today, pardon me, or earlier tomorrow. So just be mindful of that. Again, about the payments with Highmark and Capital, if you have any issues, please let us know. But again, we're working through them as we find them. There was an issue with the Alliance payment for the Highmark programs. As of Friday of last week, they said that they ran a report and were working through correcting all of these folks, getting them reinstated if need be. But if you do have any issues outside of what might have been corrected or should have been corrected, please let your new business specialist know. So that really is it. That brings us to our open forum where you can ask questions, and hopefully I can assist you in answering them. Again, I always like to end with a great big thank you, because certainly we don't make any income or revenue without your business. So we are here to support you and help you through this nightmare as it has become. So just be aware of that. So let's see here. Sean has a question, and Sean, I'm going to unmute you, and I think Deb McLean has a question too. All right, so Sean, I'm going to unmute you. Sean, can you hear me? Sean? Nope, I guess Sean can't hear me. Let's see. Somebody else had their hand raised. Deb, can you hear me? All right, so we'll go to the question, since maybe that was just an error getting the hands raised. So Jay says, was the Carolina article in your healthcare reform newsletter? It was not, Jay. I can send you a link. I just got it this morning, so I will send you that link for the article, and I will send you one as well, Sean. And let me see. Mel says, what is the best course to learn the status of a CVC application submission? Mel, I would just get a list together of your clients and just shoot us over an email, and we have about 11 folks working on these statuses, so we will get to them. Just get us a list of those ones that you're really concerned about, or all of them for that matter. I'm sure you're concerned about all of them, but get us a list and we'll work through it. And I guess that appears to be the last of the questions. Again, thank you so much for joining in every week. We'll continue to offer these as long as they have value for you and as long as we have participation. So once again, thank you so much for your business and choosing to do business with URL. And I hope that you have a wonderful day and survive the snowstorm that's coming tomorrow into Saturday. Get your milk and bread and hopefully some warm clothes and bundle up. Thanks again and enjoy your day. Bye-bye.